Prime Minister confident of stronger fight against corruption. Pinyin Gas Agreement deal raised. And public offices in Leh closed.
This is National EMTV News with Meriba Tulo.
A very good evening. Thank you for joining us. This is Wednesday's news. The members of the general public in Leh yesterday raised concerns of Morobe's provincial BMS cash office being closed frequently and not being attended to. Some of them told EMTV News they have deadlines for making payments and they've been struggling to get their payments done since early this week because the office remains closed. The head of the provincial BMS office, who was on an official duty trip, told EMTV News through a phone interview that the only officer that attends to the public was sick. He said other officers could not attend to the clients due to the financial sensitivity of the cash office.
This is Morobe's provincial BMS cash office that serves people from the 9th district of Morobe, including Leh. According to the members of the public, the cash office is normally closed and officers don't attend to the public during the official hours. They said there's only one officer who attends to them, and when the office is closed, the delay caused in waiting is too much for them to bear because of the deadlines given to them in making payments.
Plenty time officers cause him this like an inconvenience lo mipla. Come work 30 minutes, and me go finish, and close na go. Now we come past now, yeah. Mipla ogara come stand up. No got proper notice lo here. So mipla general public no lilik man. Mipla can stand up lo line lo bank ta come stand up lo line ken lo here.
Mipla sampla mama ya mipla gato line mipla baili mo lo stop laos kalabos. Instead lo sell ya. So life lo line am important. So mipla worry lo sa nasted mipla coming up now.
We contacted the head of the provincial BMS office, Andrew Nomo, yesterday, and he said he wasn't aware that the office was closed since Monday. Nomo, who is currently on an official duty trip, contacted officers from the office and was told that the only officer that attends to the matters of the cash office was sick and couldn't attend work. The office was open to public today. Also yesterday, some teachers raised their grievances because the provincial appointment office was closed for almost 3 weeks and there was no officers to attend to them. The members of the public said this has become a norm for most government offices in Morobe. They have called on Morobe's provincial administrator Bart Ipambonj to visit the divisions and make sure that public servants are on time and at work to serve the people.
Provincial administrator must come down now address him all this or something. Get to the divisions. Talking about divisions must work. Morobe cannot stay like this all the time.
People, general public, putting concern on them. Please, or taking some tough measures, get rid of monitoring this plan, making some alteration. It's immediately as soon as possible.
Julie Badui Owa, National EMTV News, Leh.
Discussions surrounding the signing of the Pinyin Gas Agreement continued on the floor of Parliament today. In a series of questions, Northfly MP James Donald asked the Petroleum Minister to clarify why there are still ongoing discussions between the state negotiating team and the developer, Exxon, after the government refused to sign the initial deal with Exxon.
He meant to say everyone is happy.
While acknowledging the fact that the Morobe-led government did not sign the Pinyin gas deal with Exxon, the Northfly MP wanted more clarification on the status of the petroleum retention license, which he claims expired in 2016.
After the Prime Minister has announced, I still see there is still ties and strings, negotiation between both parties, the SNT and ExxonMobil. Mr. Speaker, can the Minister explain why there is another open up of negotiation with ExxonMobil after PM has formally announced there was no deal? Point number 3, Mr. Speaker, from confirmed reliable information gathered has revealed that the PLN license for Pinyin gas field did expire in May 2016. After 3 consecutive terms of issuance according to Oil and Gas Act, and a room for extension has been exhausted, which is now over 20 years now.
The Petroleum Minister said the decision to not sign a deal with the developer was for the good of the country, making reference to the Bougainville copper mine and how the existing resource laws do not allow much benefit for the resource owners in Papua New Guinea. The Petroleum Minister says they aim to amend resource laws before next year.
Reason why there's some residual conversation still going on is because of what the law says. Now I'm connected come along. Narpla question blame, law expiry law, retention license. Inside long Oil and Gas Act, government can issue kind license. Man like I'm fine him, you give me an exploration license. Time him fine him one blah legally, oil and gas underneath low ground. And by talk me find him legally penis, whether any commercial volume or no got him no sawe, but me finding some plus in penis. This la time me can ask him, na government can give him retention license.
The Pinyin Gas project is part of the PNG LNG project. However, in October 2019, the Marape government announced that it will be treated as an integrated standalone project. In January, after a week-long discussion between the state negotiating team, the developer and resource owners, Prime Minister James Marape said a new committee will be established to look at a new agreement.
There will be more changes coming in our laws. Resource law especially is something close to my heart. Petroleum Minister, Mining Minister, Forestry Minister, Fisheries Ministers are all working on resource laws, not to harm our investors. We are educated enough to understand this, investors need to make profit. But in this instance, time for super profit is over. You make your fair share of profit based on the internal rate of return we feel is sustainable for different projects that we will model. And we also make profit for our 8 million or 9 million, 10 million shareholders of our country. So.
But not everyone thinks the decision by the state to not sign a gas agreement was fair. Opposition leader Belden Nama, in a previous press conference, described the no deal as a political stunt.
I'm calling on him that he must work within the existing legislative frameworks. The claim by the Prime Minister that he was walking away from Pinyin on the grounds of principle is another political stunt. And now he is trying another stunt, saying he will set up a committee led by leaders. He pulled a similar stunt when he first claimed he was tearing up the Papua LNG project agreement, only to flip-flop 6 months later, accepting the original agreement but making false claims that he had renegotiated the deal.
Thekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
The Whistleblower Bill and the establishment of the Independent Commission Against Corruption are expected to drive the Marape Steven government's push to fight corruption in the country. With the Horizon deal and the accused involvement of a long-serving politician, Prime Minister James Marape says he believes ICAC and the Whistleblower Bill will allow such allegations to be investigated and prosecuted. The Prime Minister's stance comes after a number of investigations into high-profile cases were halted due to public officers refusing to be interviewed by police and at most times running to the courthouse for stay orders.
In Parliament during grievance debate, Minister for Commerce, Trade and Industry William Duma addressing the chamber to clear his side of the Horizon deal. Minister Duma said he was unable to respond to the allegations sooner because the deal in question was effected 10 years ago and he had to wait a week for the Petroleum Department to provide all documentations on the deal. Minister Duma went on to state that there was nothing wrong with local companies having stakes in petroleum retention licenses and that he had not breached any law under the Oil and Gas Act. Duma stating that the Australian media did not understand the full process when it came to awarding PRL 21. His statement comes as the Marape government pushes for the establishment of ICAC.
So I can't quickly, as Prime Minister, get up because an allegation is run on newspaper, terminate someone who works with me. This evidence needs to be proven. And so it's up to police and up to Ombudsman Commission or when ICAC is set up to run this check. And these are important questions that we need also to answer to give certainty that nothing illegal or it's something that was not proper that took place. So fair question to be asked, but we also have to balance it out with a fair question that someone was doing his ministerial duty and maybe he was innocent or otherwise. At this point in time, there is no evidence suggesting otherwise.
The Whistleblower Act that was passed yesterday in Parliament will pave the way for ICAC to be established in 2 months' time. The Prime Minister saying the Whistleblower Act will allow informers to be given protection and also incentives for information and evidence provided.
Every citizen out there, including ministers of state, there are many people running around as if they are agents. Please report them to police with evidence. Yesterday's Whistleblowers Act will protect you, mark my word. And I want to go one step further again to relook at the Whistleblowers Act to give reward to those who report bribery and corruption. Instead of you getting reward from those who want to, instead of you giving money or you giving bribery to others, you report bribery. And we will reward you in terms of, we will protect you and reward you in terms of for you starting to report bribery in our economy and in our country.
The timing for such statement couldn't have come at a better time, as police currently are after numerous politicians and people who hold high-profile public offices for questioning in relation to allegations of official corruption.
I think it's a matter that is of concern to everyone, including myself. Interviews have been requested, and people have been absconding, delaying, or even to some extent using courts to stop those processes. But look, this is a free country. Everyone has the right to run to court. And as Prime Minister, I have no legal right to stand in or step in to stop these sort of individual rights that they exercise to go back to court. So it's a concern, but hopefully this is a process that we want to tidy.
Meanwhile, Minister Duma is expected to address the media tomorrow on his statement in Parliament. Adelaide Sirikskari, National EMTV News.
This is National EMTV News. We'll be back with more right after these messages. Welcome back to National EMTV News. Prime Minister James Marape has announced a move by Eastern Highlands Governor Peter Nomo to join his government, saying they have traded an old Peter for a new one. While welcoming Governor Nomo to the Prime Minister said despite numerous decisions made by government caucus to have the member for Yalibupangia, Peter O'Neill, relocate to the opposition benches, he has not made a decision on whether he will join the opposition or stay in government. When asked for his comments, Mr. O'Neill said he is not answerable to Marape but to the people of Yalibupangia district and will also have a seat in Parliament.
The Honourable Peter Nomo, Governor of Eastern Highlands, who has been in opposition for some time, has now decided to come back and join us in government at the back of us government making decision that Peter O'Neill is now moved to opposition in the opposition bench. And so Governor Nomo has decided that he can't work with Peter O'Neill at the opposition bench. And he said the only reason why he's still been at the opposition is because Peter O'Neill has been in government. And so despite many times government caucus making decision for him to relocate, we've given respect to him as former Prime Minister to decide for himself. And his continual utterances, public and private, against core government focuses means that our government collectively has taken resolution that he's now moved to the opposite bench. And at this juncture, we've traded an old Peter for a new Peter.
I now want to say that my people will be happy, as well as my family, for joining this government, and we're looking forward for the better future of our people of Eastern Highlands. We saw that Prime Minister already put things into action by capturing our programs, activities in the budget. And we saw that this is what we want, the people want, and the country wants. So I joined this government, and we will stand firm. I believe in the leadership of our Prime Minister because he stands very firm and want to protect the people and the country and the resource. And that's the biggest thing that we need. We've been lacking for many years. And if our Prime Minister can stand firm and uphold our constitution and laws and protect the people in the country. That's the Prime Minister that we need in this country. So I'm making this decision to give my full support, my 700,000 people of Eastern Island support to our Prime Minister.
Prime Minister James Marape is travelling today to New Zealand on an official state visit following an invitation from New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern. En route to New Zealand, Prime Minister Marape will stop over in Fiji to attend the Pacific Island Leaders Forum. In his absence, Deputy Prime Minister David Stephen will be acting Prime Minister. Michelle Stephen reports.
Thank you all.
Prime Minister James Marape is leaving the country today for a 4-day official state visit to New Zealand. Marape will be traveling through Fiji for a meeting with Pacific Island leaders and the President of Israel, Reuven Rivlin. PM Marape will meet with the Israeli President to talk about strengthening bilateral relationships between both countries.
The President would convey my message back to the government of Israel on our views to have a permanent, stronger, better relationship with the nation of Israel. Israel is obviously an advanced nation that has grown to the stage they are in the last 40 or 50 years, so something that we can't ignore, and Israel does have a lot of capacity that we can relate with, but intelligence capacity, security capacity, educational capacity, or in the space of commerce and business, and especially agriculture.
The Prime Minister will leave for New Zealand on Friday, where he will be received by New Zealand's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern. PM Marape will be spending the next 4 days in the country, also talking about strengthening ties between the two countries.
After this, on Friday, so it's a 1-day stopover in Fiji, and on Friday I'm flying to be received by Prime Minister Ardern. And I'll spend 4 days in New Zealand on a state visit and a program that is fully sanctioned by the New Zealand government. And I should return back into Port Moresby on Tuesday afternoon, but with a 1-day work and stay over in Port Moresby, and on Thursday I will bring a delegation of businessmen and government officials for us for another state visit to Solomon Islands.
PM Marape will be back in the country before he is off again on Thursday next week to the Solomon Islands on another state visit. Later in the year, the PM will be traveling to Rwanda, China and the United States on official state visits to further strengthen bilateral relations with these nations. PM Marape announced he will be traveling commercially on the Falcon jet for all his state visits. Michelle Stephen, National EMTV News.
The Department of Community Development and Religion is committed to reaching out to every rural household in the country. This is to help protect and empower them to participate in social and economic activity in the country. Community Development Minister Wake Goy gave this undertaking when opening a 2-day Development Partners and Stakeholders Consultative Workshop today.
The consultative workshop held today saw development partners and various government agencies in attendance. The workshop is about capacity building and to get development partners to partner in the establishment of district community development centers.
The policy on integrated community development, which is the umbrella policy that will be discussed today, the Australian government has been a big part of this policy, and they have supported us and worked with us to finalize this policy, which was launched last year. The umbrella of this policy is the District Community Development Center. That is the vehicle, that is the mechanism that will be used for us to deliver.
The District Community Development Centers is an initiative of the department to reach out to all districts in the country. The program started last year with groundbreaking ceremonies conducted in various provinces to signify the start of the program. And recently, the first center was officially opened in Imbongo District, Southern Highlands Province. But according to Secretary Anna Kavanagh, there are some challenges faced and there is a need for more partnership in this program.
What part of capacity building can you come in to help our ward leaders, our local level government leaders, our women groups, our youth groups? What capacity building can you come in with? What part of the management information system can you assist us with? The bulk of the population are at the district, not at the province or here at the national level.
The community development centers will have office space for various government agencies to roll out various programs at district level. The agencies include Child and Family Services, Youth, Women, Churches, among others. The Secretary said, our way of taking back PNG is to deliver programs at district levels and empower the districts.
because we are all doing things to try and improve the individuals and families in a community so that it impacts our country. And we are all doing it on our own. Enough. No more on our own. How can we deliver as one government, and how can we cut the cost so that we are moving together and having an impact on our people.
In opening the two-day workshop, Community Development Minister Wake Goi highlighted funding issues as a major challenge the department is facing. He said over the years, they have been struggling to reach out to the districts, and forums like this will help get support from development partners.
Policy can be good, but only can be put into good use, and whatever it's in the policy that is brought across to people only with the resource backings. Sometimes resource backings are really lacking, and it's good to open a forum like this where partners get together to lift an heavy object.
The minister further challenged all development partners to partner with the department and to make resources available for the department to roll out the DC-DC program.
You're born to do some job. While we are alive on earth, we must continue to do what we can do. So please, if the resource that is available at our partner's hand, channel through the right department, and we will work together to deliver the best we can deliver.
Rayon Lakingu, National, EMTV News.
The Kompiam District Hospital in Enga Province will receive total direct funding of 2.5 million Australian dollars over a 5-year period from the Australian government. Australian High Commissioner to PNG, Bruce Davis, made this commitment recently. He says it is to continue the good relationship between Australia and PNG. Each year for the next 5 years, they are committing to providing 500,000 Australian dollars to complete the building of the Kompiam District Hospital.
The Australian High Commissioner Bruce Davies, when committing the grant, says the district hospital is an inspiration to many people as it provides rural health to thousands of unfortunate people. Davies said the $500,000 grant is given as a security for a longer period of time to engage in a long-term relationship with the rural health community. There will be more support coming in to build nurses' accommodation to train them, and also for it to be a teaching hospital.
I hope there are other sort of very particular areas within the health sector as well where we can come in and be supportive, as we're doing at the moment around a number of provinces and districts on vaccination.
The grant is a core contribution to further develop the district hospital. Administered by the long-serving rural health doctor in Kompiam, Dr. David Mills, donor agencies have seen his potential in developing the hospital as well as providing rural health care services. Dr. Mills said the Kompiam Ambum electorate of Enga province has not seen a lot of development, which forces people to resort to fighting when they see that there is no future for them. He also said that there is need for more rural health doctors and nurses.
Make the commitments that you have, it really does do an enormous amount to boost people, give them a sense that there's a future, there's a hope for a place like this. So let me just say thank you just for your presence.
Enga Governor Sir Peter Ipatas acknowledged the work of the medical staff in Kompiam and said to continue to partner with Australia to see tangible development.
One day we will become an education hub as a province in this country. We hope to become also a health hub in the country. So your money that has been put in is not going to go to waste. I'm sure that it's going to be part of a bigger dream that we have for the province. So thank you very much.
Kompiam Hospital has advanced facilities such as the X-ray system that sends images straight to the computer. It has a morgue, ventilated wards, and modern operating theatres and uses solar power. Vasanata Yama, National, EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
The Roger Hoffa Kidney Foundation is aiming to raise a total of 200,000 kina to go towards the building of a new kidney centre at the Port Moresby General Hospital. The foundation believes in sustainable development through working with and supporting health facilities throughout the country.
The Roger Hoffa Kidney Foundation was established by the family of former radio broadcaster Roger Hoffa, who passed away from kidney disease in 2017. The foundation's founder and chair, Michelle Hoffa, has pledged to shave her hair if the foundation's fundraising target of 200,000 kina is reached.
Well, first of all, Shave for Kidneys is really the event to have people talking about why kidney health, why is this crazy lady wanting to shave her head for kidney health. So we want those conversations to be started. Why is kidney health important? It's important because your kidneys regulate the rest of your body, and without functioning kidneys, your body starts to shut down.
Rachel Marape, the patron of Roger Hoffa Foundation and wife of Prime Minister James Marape, also shared the same experience, saying that she too had lost her father and best friend through kidney diseases.
I know it will help many Papua New Guineans along the way after our own experience on what we felt and had in the past years. Like my dad passed away 8 years ago. My best friend passed away 12 years ago. So it was something I had a passion and had to help when she mentioned about the Kidney Foundation, because after all, we don't have anything established here for to take care of the kidneys especially.
The foundation so far has raised 120,000 kina. They also encouraged individuals who are willing to donate to send their donations to these trusted accounts shown on your screen. Michelle Stephen, National EMTV News.
This is Wednesday's news. We'll be back with more right after these messages. Don't go away. Welcome back to the news. Locals and residents at Busanim, just outside Leh, are calling on authorities to look into the existence of a volcanic vent, which is causing vegetation in the area to die. Locals say they are unsure of what this might be and need the authorities to help them identify and inform them of what actually is happening.
This is the area where the vent was found. The vegetation surrounding it, dead. According to the locals and residents, the burning alternates between different sections and is covering more land area. This footage shot by EMTV Leh's cameraman Venantius Wavite shows smoke coming out through the vent and fire beneath. It was discovered late last year.
Now it
must 3 months or 4 months now. This is something fire and stuff like that.
First time I've been going to stop before last year. So I'm like stop. So last year I'm like expand.
The area is located at Busanim, 14 miles outside of Leh. The crew had to make a 6-hour return trip on foot. At the site, the smell of sulfur and a strong tar-like smell. One of the guides wore a face mask to block out the smell.
Smell no good plan. Me smell me looking at member barpi mol mama or young plan or pigini lo bien time.
Unsure of what this might be, the locals and residents are calling on the authorities to visit the site and do tests in order to inform the people of what's happening.
No safe. Lo mipla people lo here mipla community and big la three na kind something was first time lombla lo minden lo lugime. Me like him all kind of line no disaster. Sambla blol can come na duglu na check him na toksa lo mipla osem emwane mem good la something or something we can barpi mipla lo sinam lo mipla.
Mipla ogara lao mipla sino tim rapal lo kam. Lukim la toksa lo mipla. Slow so. One something come up here.
Lucy Kopana, National EMTV News, Leh.
More than 150 people were finally released today after 2 weeks in isolation in Auckland, New Zealand. They include PNG students and other Pacific Islanders who were evacuated from Wuhan, China. The PNG students will arrive tomorrow on the Brisbane flight. Meanwhile, the number of infections on the Diamond Princess has soared once again. 88 new cases, taking the total to 542, the largest cluster outside of China. Globally, there are more than 73,000 confirmed cases, the vast majority in China, and the death toll is now more than 2,000, 6 of those fatalities outside of mainland China.
The moment these New Zealanders have been waiting for. After 2 weeks quarantined north of Auckland, freedom at last.
What's the plan for tonight? Chill out, have a wine that I wasn't allowed to have.
Given the final sign-off, they're returning home and to normality. Family and friends of the 157 people isolated feeling the frustration too.
It's too long for me, every day like a year, this is really long. It's a bit difficult, especially the first couple of days.
Once the gates opened, the relief was clear to see.
My boy is still there and I have to send him back to school tomorrow morning. And I'll start my work next Monday. So, so I've been very excited.
Very good. Yeah. I'm so happy to see them again.
I feel great. Yeah, great relief and it was safe here. Yeah.
Happy to be back?
Yeah, happy to be back.
Of course, not everyone who's spent the last 2 weeks inside this cordon are from New Zealand. There's people from the Pacific Islands, even some from Uzbekistan. And from here they'll have to fly home, which is going to be another long journey. But not everyone's happy with how the Ministry of Health's responded to this outbreak.
They're hopeless. Wouldn't rely on them for anything.
Sorry, guys.
That's why they're letting thousands of people quarantined into the country.
There's been a lot of things that this government could learn, and I hope learn, out of this whole situation.
I think we've responded really well, actually. Someone commented that the Wi-Fi was slow, and someone lamented the fact there was no beer. But other than that, the feedback, as you'll see, was very affirming.
The Ministry of Health has a tight turnaround for the Whangaparaoa base. Soon it'll be home to the 8 Kiwis rescued off the Diamond Princess. As for the last to be cleared today,
how I can get good sleep?
They'll be making the most of their freedom.
This is National EMTV News. Up next, all the updates from the Oceania Champions League in Trukai Sports. Stay tuned for the details.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. We begin with the updates from the OFC. Galaxy FC and Eastern Suburbs ended their second Group A match in a 2-2 draw. A late goal in the second half from Eastern Suburbs striker Martin Bueno levelled the scores at 2 apiece.
They're very patient on the ball.
Galaxy FC scored 2 goals in a 5-minute period, shocking the tournament favourites. Goals from Terence Carter and Robinson Dos Santos put Galaxy in a handy lead.
And it might be a goal!
Just before half-time, Adam Thurston was tackled in the box by Barry Mansale, leaving Martin Bueno to score from the penalty.
Martin Bueno for Eastern Suburbs. Bueno!
In the second half, tempers flared with players from both teams receiving warnings and yellow cards.
Yes, it is. This time for Edison Steven. And you can just hear Percy just go right in center.
It was not until additional time in the second half where Eastern Suburbs' Martin Bueno placed one past a scrambling Galaxy defence to level the scores.
They have to pick Bueno!
Galaxy FC sit in first place in Group A, leading on goal difference after 1 win and 1 draw. Elijah Levette, National EMTV Sports.
And this afternoon's OFC match in the A Division saw Hekari draw 2-2 with Hengene FC. Here's Jeremy Mogi with the review of that match.
Afternoon would see that matchup between Hekari United of Papua New Guinea and Yengen Sport of New Caledonia. Both sides desperate for a win after match day 1, which saw Yengen Sport thrashed at the hands of Galaxy FC by 4-1, while for Hekari United it was the 2-1 loss to Eastern Suburbs that had put them on the back foot. The match would start off slowly, both sides very tense in anticipation, hoping to score early, but in actual fact it was Yengen Sport who 6 minutes in will open the scoring. Goal!
just scored from a corner kick by...
For Hekari, though, they would hit back to the Samba boys combination of Eric Joe and Vinicius Ray Crisozum. That goal boosting the home side, which would see them double the lead shortly after, in fact, right on the stroke of half-time.
A chance for Hekari to make it 2-1! The two Brazilians have put Hekari Reds up by 2 goals!
The second half would prove a lackluster affair, both sides tense and under pressure, hoping to score, knowing that a loss would see either side knocked out of the competition. And it wasn't until later on that a penalty to Yengen Sport would see them equalize, much to the dismay of Hekari United. Exact same position that Vinicius Reis Crisozum was in. Atale for Yengen Sport! Post-match, Hekari head coach Jerry Allen disappointed with the outcome, but knowing that that one single point combined with a good performance on Saturday could put them through.
Really tough game. We lead in the first half. We want to maintain in the second half, but the boys are really tense. They should have calmed the game down and keep more position of the ball so that it will save us. But it's a running game. It's really tough today.
For Yengen Sport, issues with refereeing raised their ugly heads again with criticism over the manner in which today's OFC match was being played.
We have a good group here. We have four teams. We have a good level to play very good soccer. But the ref, we think it's not in the level in this group because we have two games and Galaxy and now. And we think it's not a level that the game of the soccer now.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Okay. Good level to play very good.
Yengen Sport now meet eastern suburbs of New Zealand on Saturday at 12 p.m, hoping that a win will see them through into second place, while for Hekari United, they take on Galaxy FC at 3 p.m. over here at the Sejongai Stadium, also hoping for a win. Jeremy Mogi, National TV Sports.
In Group B of the OFC, Ley City FC sit in first place after a 7-0 victory over Lautoka yesterday. The win puts them in front to earn a home quarter-final, with the last match to be played this Friday against Malampa FC.
Ley City scored 4 goals in a 10-minute period late in the first half of their clash with Lautoka that killed off the result. Lautoka had no answer for Ley's pace up front and pinpoint finishing.
And there's a chance here, goal from Nigel. A nice shot from Nigel and the ball goes in.
Raymond Gunamba, Nigel Dabinyaba and Emmanuel Simon all scored 2 goals each, while Obed Bika also grabbed a goal.
With the ball. A cross comes into the box and a shot, it goes into the net. Another goal.
Dabinyaba was the first to open the scoring for Ley City. Taking a 5-0 lead into halftime meant Ley could take the pressure off in the second half, and they eased through the final 45 minutes, scoring 2 more goals. The result has given them a strong goal differential, and while they lead to any home quarter-final, the group remains wide open ahead of the final match day on Friday after Henderson Eels and Malampa Revivers FC played out a 2-2 draw.
A chip by Raymond and the ball goes in. Another goal for Ley City. Ley City in the attack. A ball comes in for Opet. And another goal.
Ley City will play Malampa in the final match on Friday. Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
Don't go anywhere, we'll have more of Trukai Sports when we return.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. City Pharmacy Limited group of companies today presented 50 cartons of water and 40 party ice bags to the Papua New Guinea Football Association. The donations were made to support the 2020 Oceania Football Competition Champions League.
CPL as a group has always believed in sports and supporting Papua New Guinean athletes. This morning, CPL Foundation Public Relations Officer Otila Sagavibau and Stop and Shop Branch Manager Dimla Strasad presented the cartons of water and bags of ice to PNG FA for the 2020 Oceania Championship, currently held in the country at the Sir John Guy's Football Stadium in Port Moresby. PR officer Otis says PNG FA is doing a great job bringing sporting activities like this into the country.
These kind of competitions, they empower a lot of our soccer players, our football players, and lead up players to bigger tournaments that will be coming moving forward. So once again, CPL Group with the Branding Stop and Shop and City Pharmacy, we're proud to come on board to support PNG FA once again. Thank you.
PNG FA General Secretary Dimirit Milang thanks CPL for their support towards PNG FA and the local team Hekari United.
A kind gesture like this goes a long way to support all the activities of the local organizing committee, and I'm sure there's always another opportunity to call upon CPL because football is here to stay, and I'm sure CPL is always here to stay in PNG.
Michelle Stephen, National EMTV Sports.
Junior Kauko Raka and manager and trainer Jamie Pang have called on businesses to support Raka's upcoming fight. The Silver Lightweight Championship fight will be between PNG's Junior Kauko Raka and Roldan Aldea from the Philippines. The fight is scheduled for the 25th of April at the Sir John Guy's Indoor Complex in Port Moresby.
PNG stepped up, we took on a formidable opponent and we decimated him. What was it? What round was it?
Round 6.
Round 6. I thought it was round 2. I fast forwarded. Anyway, it was a really good display, and that should have boosted him right up. People should be coming to him. This is where it's at. This is what makes fighters huge. Is people get behind them and they promote them to be the champions that they deserve to be. This is Rucker's dream. It's driving me crazy that I have to train him so hard. I'm trying to make him run away every day, but he just won't leave me. So I put him through absolute chaos. He deserves this. PNG, get behind him, get behind Oceania Fight Promotions, and let's give PNG a boxing promotion, something to remember, rather than the failures and whatever it is that's come before that,
That ends Trukai Sports for this evening. When we come back, we take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by Money Plus. With you always.
A look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours in the southern region. Cloudy weather and some showers expected in Popondetta. Mostly fine in the rest of the region. Port Moresby, Daru, Kerma and Alotau. To the Momasa region, some showers and drizzles expected in Lae, some showers in Wau, cloudy weather and some showers in Madang, cloudy weather and some thunderstorms expected over the next 24 hours in Wewak and Vanimo. To the New Guinea Islands region, cloudy weather and some showers expected over the next 24 hours in Larangau, Keveng, Kokopo, Rabaul and Buka, and some showers and thunderstorms expected in Kimbe. And to the Highlands region, Mount Hagen, Goroka and Kundiawa can expect some showers over the next 24 hours. Fine weather expected in Mendi and Wabeg, and all of these major centers can expect early morning fog developing. A look at the forecast for small ships for the next 24 hours. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Strait and Daru to Kiwai Island, to Kerma, Yule Island, Hood Point, Aroma Coast to Samurai Island, sea 0.5 to 1.5 meters. Waters of eastern and western Milne Bay Islands and waters of New Island, East New Britain and Bougainville, seas 1.5 to 2.5 meters. Waters of Samurai Island to Cape Vogel to Finschhafen, sea 0.5 to 1.3 meters. Waters of Finschhafen through Vitias and Dampier Strait to Searcy Island, to Long Island, and waters of Long Island to Karkar Island, Madang, Bogia, Wewak, Aitape, Vanimo, and the northern PNG Indonesian border, seas 1.5 to 3 meters. Waters of Manus and its western group of islands, seas 1 to 2 meters, and waters of western East New Britain, seas 2.5 to 3.5 meters. And a look at the ocean forecast for PNG areas. Coral Sea, the sea is moderate with rough patches, with winds tending from southwest to northwesterly winds at 15 to 25 knots. Solomon Sea is moderate to rough with southwest to northwesterly winds at 15 to 25 knots. Bismarck Sea is rough with northwesterly winds tending at 25 to 33 knots. And the Pacific Ocean, sea slight to moderate with southwest to northwesterly winds tending at 10 to 20 knots.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by Money Plus, with you always.
That ends the news, sport and weather for today, Wednesday, the 19th of February 2020. On a personal note, thank you for your viewership over the last few years. But now, on behalf of the EMTV News team right throughout the country, enjoy the rest of your evening on your number one to watch. Good night.